Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to create your very own in-demand virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 39. Not getting inquiries from your website? Now what?
This is a topic that we're both really passionate about, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is websites are my jam, so I just love talking about websites. But the second reason, and the more important reason, is that we see this is one of our bugbears. We see virtual assistants, especially those starting out, get obsessed about their websites, and they don't need to be doing that right off the bat, do they?
They definitely don't. So yeah, we see virtual assistants who think that creating a website is going to get them organic leads straight away, and it's just not the case. And there's a few reasons for that. The first page of Google for Virtual Assistant New Zealand is very contested, and those established VAs who are on the first page have done a lot of work on their website SEO, off-site website SEO, and they have an online presence, and they are blogging and updating their website regularly, and all sorts of things, and getting backlinks, etc. All of these things that get you on page one. New virtual assistants creating a website are going to have to spend time and energy, and it's going to take time to get to page one. And if you're not on page one, maybe page 1 and 2, that's where you're going to get organic leads of people searching for keywords, which is really frustrating for new VAs.
Yeah.
I understand that. But you need to think of other ways to focus your time and energy for getting clients, and have your website be something that you work on later down the track when you're more established.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. So I would say if you are just starting out, haven't even launched, or perhaps you have recently launched, or really if you've been in business in 12 months and under, I just want you to stop listening to this from this point on. Websites should not be something that you should be concentrating on at this point. You need to be finding clients in other ways. This is just a waste of your time. However, if you are an established virtual assistant who has been in business 12 plus months, then by all means, we would love for you to continue listening, and we will give you the advice if you aren't getting those organic leads from your website, what you should now be looking at.
And I want to touch briefly on those who are new and are frustrated that their website is not getting leads. You need to be focusing your energy on building relationships, direct reaching out to people in your existing network, to people you've worked with before, and building your online presence in terms of LinkedIn, and putting out value, showcasing your skills in Facebook groups, and building direct relationships and reaching out. That's the way to find clients in the beginning, 100%. Yeah. Website is a whole nother story. And so that's what we'll now talk about, is for those established virtual assistants. Sam's just plugging in her laptop power, are you?
Yeah, sorry.
And so this is for virtual assistants who are established. You've got some clients, but now you want to start getting organic leads from your website, and it's just not happening for you yet. So yeah, this is our advice on that.
So where I normally go first when we see this happening with virtual assistants is more often than not, they've done a DIY website, which works for some VAs, the creative VAs, the virtual assistants that have got a good eye. They've done the training. They know about SEO. They know a bit about copywriting. They know about sales, writing from a sales perspective, so writing copy that actually converts. But not everybody does. Not everybody has done that. So if you have got a DIY website, and websites actually just aren't your zone of genius, then my first bit of advice would be to look for another virtual assistant that does specialize in websites to either do an audit for you or, create something for you or update what you've already done.
Yeah, this is really hard for me to talk about because I just know that there are better ways to find clients than
I know.
focusing
Yes,
this
but
energy.
remember, Joe, this is an established, this kind of pretend virtual assistant that we're talking to, it's an established virtual assistant, and we're going to assume that they are already doing all of the networking and the building relationships.
Cool. Yeah. So that's our caveat here. You have to be doing all the other stuff. This can't be your one source of leads, like
No.
wanting to get them through your website. So we're going to assume that you're doing all of the building relationship stuff, and this is an addition to get additional leads.
Yeah.
And so, with a website, I think people think that when you create a website, you put all the images up and design it and put the text in, and then you're good to go. But that is really not the case at all. And there is so much that goes into building a great website that converts and that is found on Google. So speaking from my own experience of what I've done with what my team have done with my VA agency's website, Strictly Savvy, who is on page 1, it's about having enough copy that you're really focusing in on those keywords. You can't expect to be on page 1 if someone types in virtual assistant NZ. You can't expect to be on page 1 if you don't have the word virtual assistant and NZ more than once on your website, more than 10 times. It needs to be throughout your website so Google knows, right, this is a website about virtual assistant NZ. If I put this in front of someone on the first page who's searching for that term, this is going to be a really good source of information for them, and they're going to find the information that they want. That's what Google is trying to figure out, right? So the copy, it needs to have keywords throughout. It needs to be a decent amount of copy. Like, we have many, many pages. We have decent amount of copy, and we have blogs on our website as well that all feeds into that, having enough copy on your website. I see virtual assistants and they've sort of got like a couple of sentences on their homepage, and then they might have a couple of sentences on their contact page. Now, that is not enough content and copy for you to be anywhere on the radar of Google at all, right?
No, Google ranks you for valuable content. And the way that they know that a page has got valuable content is their bots. Like, I don't know technically how it works, but the upshot is they're kind of Google's bots know when visitors are on a page, and they can tell if they're scrolling all the way to the bottom of the page. So when they have, if that's happening on a regular basis, Google goes, this page, people are liking what's on this page. This is valuable content. So as Joe just said, in order for that scrolling to happen, you need more than a couple of sentences. You need more than a couple of paragraphs.
Yep, absolutely. So that's one thing, having enough copy and having a quality copy that has keywords. But then there's also, I love this term, it's the wee test. And now it's so ingrained in my brain that I just see this now without even thinking about it. Like, it's instinctual for me. And it's really difficult to naturally write copy that is about the person who is visiting rather than about yourself. Because it's really easy to write, we're a virtual assistant company. We started in 2000 and whatever. We can provide these services to business owners. We have this many team members. Like, we. Super easy to write that copy. Now, that copy is all about you. That copy is not all about the person who has landed on the page wanting to find out what's in it for them. Is this going to help me with a problem that I have? And do I want to make contact with this person? Now, you have to switch your writing to be all about them. So you have to say, you you, all throughout your copy. So have a look at your website and figure out, is this speaking to them or is it all about me? And every time you say we and I, try and switch that around to say you.
Yeah, absolutely. What problems what problems are you going to be taking off their plate? Set the scene. Who's your, I mean, okay, let's take another step back actually. Who's your ideal client? So you need to picture them in your head when you're writing this as well. What problems are they coming to you with when they're visiting your site? What are they thinking? What feelings? Are they feeling overwhelmed? Are they feeling stressed? Are they feeling, oh my gosh, I just need someone to help me? That's what they want to then be able to see on your site, how it is that they're going to feel after they have hired you.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, if this is not your thing, then and you're ready to do your website, then you need to get a professional copywriter to write copy like this, because it's so important for conversion. All right, what else on a website, Sam?
What else? Well, I would say if you've been in business 12 plus months, then if you haven't already, it's time to get some professional headshots. And even if you've got like a professional headshot, and if you've got the funds, I'd go the next step further and maybe have a branding shoot done specifically for your website. So you would go to a photographer and you say, look, I've got 6 pages on my website and I need some banner images of me doing my thing for each 6 pages. So they can then create those for you instead of stock images. This comes down to building that know, like, and trust. People want to know who they're doing business with. They want to know within seconds whose website that they're visiting. So they've got a feel for you. It's such a close relationship in a lot of respects of a virtual assistant and their client. Trust is huge. So you need to start building that immediately on your website. And what better way to do that than for people to actually see who it is that they're going to be speaking with.
It doesn't matter if it's a home office, just it needs to be you, and they need to know, like, and trust you, and that's one of the steps that you can take. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if you don't have the funds for this big brand shoot or professional headshots yet, then I would be questioning, even if you have been in business 12 plus months, whether or not you should be investing in your website. So just make sure there's some decent photos that you've taken yourself or your partner's taken of you. So at least they're still getting that feel for you.
Yep, absolutely. So the next one is updated content. So it needs to have a blog. It needs to have video. It needs to have really rich content, varied content, audio, links to your YouTube videos that you've done with tips. Like, it needs to be really rich content, and it needs to showcase your skills, and it needs to have, video content is so important for your SEO to have on your website. So you need to have rich, interesting content that showcases your skills.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not at that point yet where you have any of that content to put on there, a written blog is fine. Once again, so long as it's got a decent amount of text on there and you're writing in a way that people are, once again, scrolling all the way to the end. So this is another SEO tip, basically. Google likes to see new content being added, new valuable content being added to a website. And the easiest way to do that is with your blog.
Yeah, every website platform has the ability to have a blog on, so make sure that you utilize that for sure. The other thing is to make it really easy for people to know how to contact you. So you need to have your phone number or your email or whatever you've decided that how people are going to contact you, a book a discovery call button. Like, make it so easy for people to know how to get in touch with you. On the contact page, on every page, in the top banner, wherever you can, you need to make it really easy for people to get in touch.
Yeah, and one way to make that really easy is make every time you've got your phone number or your email address, make sure that it's actually linked. So if somebody's on their mobile device looking at your website, just one click of a button and then they can be calling you or emailing you.
Yep. So test that out. Like have a look at your website and go to where your phone number is. If you can push it and then it like puts it into like the dialing area of your phone, that's what you want to have. If you don't have that, then you need to figure out how you actually make it clickable.
Should we talk a little bit about backlinks?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about, this is kind of next level again, but this helps with your SEO, and that's backlinks. So when we talk about backlinks, it's getting your website on other people's websites.
Yep.
So you can be guest blogging, guest podcasting, directory links. That's why there are so many directories out there. But you want to be picking directories. You want to be picking the good ones. And you know that they're good if they are getting good SEO results themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best backlink that you could get is like on a news website. If you could get a media story that has your website linked in there back to your website, that's number one. Like that would be awesome. And I think we've got a couple on stuff which link back to Strictly Savvy, which really helps. And then another really popular website like Xero, we are Xero partners and we have a partner listing, like you say, the directories. That has a link back to our website as well. So that's a super popular website. So the more links you can get on popular websites that have lots of views on their website or lots of visitors on their website, those are the really awesome backlinks to get. But yeah, as many backlinks, quality backlinks that you can get from quality websites, the better.
Yeah, and we've missed a really important quality website directory one. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
The New Zealand Virtual Assistant Network directory.
It is, funnily enough. I'm going to plug it. Where the Virtual Assistant Network's website has really, really good SEO. So it's on page 1, at the top of page 1 when people
it's top listing, isn't it?
I think it's the top listing, yeah. When people are typing into Google Virtual Assistants New Zealand, if we're not number 1, we're definitely number 2. I think sometimes there's a bit of jostling that goes on. And that means that every virtual assistant that is on our directory, that improves their SEO if they have a website. And we've had some stories recently from VAs that have now been on there a year saying that they've definitely seen an increase in visitors and in terms of their SEO ranking. So now they've kind of gone up, up on that ranking. So that's fantastic.
Yep. Absolutely. And if you can't get onto page 1, the next best thing is you can have a link from a website that is on page 1. So that's awesome.
Yes.
All right. Then I think the next thing is to make sure that you have a link to your website wherever else you are on the internet. So on your Facebook personal profile, on your business Facebook page, on your LinkedIn profile, everywhere that you are online needs to have a link back to your website so that you can get visitors from, let's say, LinkedIn, and then they see you've got a website, so they click through and then they're on your website. So directing people to that website wherever else you are online is really important.
It really is. Social proof is also huge, very important. Easiest way to do that on your website is testimonials. Once again, I like beefy testimonials. Recorded video testimonials are amazing. Like that's next level. If you haven't got to that point yet, at least written ones. Make sure you have a business name on there. Obviously, there'll be some industries, due to confidentiality that they may not want them. But if you can, you want the name of the full name of the person that's provided that testimonial, the business name, and even a photo. You'll be surprised the amount of people that think, and a lot of them are old school. So it's the older generation that they think testimonials are just all made up and whoever's created the website's just made up some testimonials. So for those people that kind of think, oh, that's not real, having all of those extra details, the full name, the business name, a photo, or even a link to their website if you wanted to go that next step, that all builds that trust that this is a legitimate testimonial that's on your page.
Yep, absolutely. And we have video testimonials on our page, and we don't even just have them on we call it reviews, our page. We don't even have it just on that page. Like, yes, we have all of our reviews on there, but we also have them on the homepage, and at the
Yeah.
bottom of every other page, we have our testimonials or reviews. And yeah, with photos, like that's highly increases the credibility of those testimonials. Yeah.
It does. And last one on my list that I want to bring up is don't be afraid to show your personality, show who you are. I know we've touched on having photos of you, but that also should come across in your copy,
Yep.
in the whole vibe, in the colors that you use. Everything about your website, especially if you are a one-man band, a one-woman VA band, you absolutely, it needs to feel like you. Give people that the opportunity to feel what it's like to be working with you and having a conversation with you before they even pick up the phone, because they're going to be so much friendlier with you when you do have that discussion, because they know what to expect. If you're a fun, bubbly, funny person, bring that across. If you're more serious, that's fine too. Whatever your vibe is, make sure that it feels like you, not like some robot virtual assistant. It's got no personality whatsoever.
Because many of us have come from corporate backgrounds, and we talk about this quite a lot too, is that we bring that like, oh, everything has to be professional. We bring that across to our small business, who now is completely different to a corporate with completely different clients. And people really like having fun in the small to medium business world. So absolutely, if that's you, your personality, let your personality, whatever it is, come across. Don't be influenced by what we were all told and taught in corporate, where everything has to be super professional. Throw that out the window.
It's gone. It's gone, baby.
And one of the last ones I had is to make sure that you have a call to action button on every single page. People like to be taken on a journey through your website. They like to know what to do next. So make sure that when they get to the bottom of the page, that you have a button that tells them exactly what to do next. It could be check out the services, and then they have a look at the services. At the bottom of the services, it says get in touch to book your free discovery call, or get in touch, or book now, or whatever it is. Make sure that you have that call to action so people know what to do. You don't want them to scroll to the bottom and then be like, I'm not really sure what to do next.
It's so simple, but it's so I've lost the word. It's so simple, but it's so effective.
Yeah.
It's you think, oh, how is a button at the bottom of each page going to help anything? It's all psychological. People need to be prompted. People need to be told what to do next.
Yep.
It's brains are weird things. They really are.
Yeah, and I think that the overall thing too is this website needs to look really good. Like, if you don't have a design eye, and I know that some people might not realize that they don't have a design eye, but it has to look modern. It has to look visually appealing, 100%.
Yeah, I think they do know. I really do.
Do
It's kind of, it goes back to what's that bit of advice you say, Jo, about if there's something going on in your business, if there's something not working in your business, it's actually going to come back to you. So I think everyone, if your website is not converting, if it's getting the visitors, but those visitors aren't actually converting into new leads, then it's time to take a really, really honest look at yourself and the work that you've put into that. And there's nothing wrong with outsourcing. I mean, my God, it's what we do. This is how we live.
This is what we teach our clients.
Exactly. There's some things that just aren't in our zone of genius, and that is okay. It's okay to ask for help. Let's lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you have a website, you're established, you have a website, and it's just not doing anything for you, you're not getting the leads, then go through step by step everything that we have talked about here. Take a really good hard look at what you've done and make improvements, because it is possible to get leads from your website, but there's a whole range of things that you have to do that will bring it all together to be able to then get leads. Thanks to everyone for listening to this episode of the Sam and Jo VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the Savvy School website to check out the amazing members club and find more free resources.
You can find us at savvyschool.co.nz.